In a small rural town where traditions mattered more than people, a woman's worth was often measured by one thing alone: her ability to bear children. For Elena Miller, that belief would cost her everything. At 19, Elena should have been planning college or dreaming about her future. Instead, she was standing in the corner of her parents' living room, silent, while strangers discussed her life as if she weren't there at all. The word that destroyed her world was spoken calmly, without emotion. Barren. The doctor had said it months earlier. A medical complication from childhood illness had left Elena unable to conceive. There was no pain in the diagnosis, just a sentence spoken like a fact. But to her parents, that single word turned their daughter into a burden. In their community, daughters were married early. Families were built fast. Children meant security, and a daughter who could not provide that was seen as a liability. Elena's parents didn't shout. They didn't cry. They simply decided. She overheard her mother say, "What future does she have with us?" Her father answered quietly, "Someone else might take her. Someone who doesn't need more children." That was how Elena learned she was being sold, not in money exactly, but in responsibility. Her parents arranged a marriage to a man they barely knew. A man from the Western Plains. A widowed cowboy with 5 children. His name was Caleb Walker. Caleb Walker was known across the county, not for wealth or charm, but for endurance. At 36, his face was weathered by sun and wind. His hands were rough, his posture permanently bent from years of ranch work. He lived on a wide stretch of land in Montana, where the sky seemed endless and silence could last for hours. 5 years earlier, his wife had died during a harsh winter. Pneumonia took her quickly, leaving him alone with 5 children under the age of 12. Caleb didn't complain. He didn't ask for help. He simply kept going. Neighbors saw him cooking meals after long days of work. They saw him braiding his daughter's hair with clumsy fingers, showing up late to school meetings with dirt still on his boots. But loneliness followed him everywhere. Not the kind that makes noise. The kind that settles deep in the chest when the house grows quiet at night. Caleb wasn't looking for love. He was looking for stability. Someone kind. Someone patient. Someone who wouldn't run when life became heavy. When he heard about Elena, he didn't ask about her ability to have children. He asked one question only: is she willing? Elena arrived at Caleb's ranch on a gray morning, carrying a single suitcase. She expected judgment. She expected coldness. She expected to be treated like a replacement, someone filling a role she could never truly complete. What she didn't expect was 5 children standing awkwardly on the porch, watching her with curiosity rather than resentment. The youngest, a little boy with messy hair, whispered loudly, "Is she staying forever?" Caleb cleared his throat. Let's give her time. That was the first kindness Elena had felt in months. The ranch house was loud, imperfect, and full of life. Nothing like the quiet, suffocating home she had left behind. At night, Elena cried silently, unsure of her place. She wasn't a mother. She wasn't truly a wife. She felt like an outsider, tolerated but temporary. But days turned into weeks. She learned the children's routines. Their fears. Their small joys. She helped with homework. She listened when the oldest girl talked about missing her mother. She stayed up late with the middle child during nightmares. She didn't replace anyone. She showed up. Slowly, something changed. The children began calling for Elena before Caleb. "Elena, can you help me? Elena, can you read this? Elena, can you stay until I fall asleep?" One night, the youngest slipped his small hand into hers and said, "You don't leave like everyone else, right?" Elena felt her chest tighten. "I'm here," she said softly. "I'm not going anywhere." Caleb watched these moments quietly. He noticed how the house felt warmer. How laughter returned. How the children smiled more. He also noticed how Elena never spoke about her past. One evening, after the children were asleep, Caleb finally asked, "Do you regret being here?" Elena thought carefully before answering. "I regret being unwanted," she said. "But I don't regret this." That was the moment Caleb realized something important. This woman, whom others had dismissed as worthless, was holding his family together in ways he never could alone. News traveled back to Elena's hometown eventually. People heard she had married a man with 5 children. They assumed she was miserable. They assumed she had failed. Then photos surfaced, simple ones. Birthdays, school events, family dinners. Elena was always there, not as a shadow, not as a servant, but as the center. The children called her Mom, without anyone telling them to. Caleb never corrected them. Years passed. Elena never gave birth, but she raised 5 lives. She taught them kindness, responsibility, strength. She became the woman they turned to when the world hurt. And something else happened too. Caleb fell in love, not suddenly, not dramatically, but deeply. He loved the way Elena listened, the way she stayed, the way she chose them every single day. One night, standing under the open sky, Caleb said, "I didn't choose you because you couldn't have children." He paused. "I chose you because you already knew how to love." Elena cried. Not from sadness this time, but from something close to peace. Years later, Elena's parents reached out. They were older now, weaker, regretful. They asked if she would visit. Elena thought about it carefully. She didn't feel anger anymore. She felt distance. When she finally replied, her message was simple. "I have a family. I am not barren. I was only planted in the wrong soil." She never went back. In a society that measured her value by what her body could not do, Elena proved something far greater. Motherhood is not only about birth. Family is not only about blood. And sometimes, the people the world rejects are the ones who build the strongest homes. A woman once sold for being barren became the heart of a family that needed her more than anyone ever knew. And a lonely cowboy didn't just find a wife. He found a future.